kommt eigentlich das Wasser her?
The table water we drink here comes from the largest drinking water reservoir in Europe, Lake Constance. More than 4 million people in Baden-Württemberg drink water from Lake Constance every day. Vast amounts of uncontaminated water flow continuously into this big lake directly from the Alps. That's why the water is so clean. The countries and communities around the lake do a lot to protect it and to keep the water quality good. There are strict regulations for using the lake.
Und was passiert, wenn ich Sand in den See werfe? Wird der See dann dreckig?
Sand, stones and soil don't do any harm. I mean, look at the lake. If an impurity gets into it, there's so much water that it's greatly diluted. But of course, the lake must be kept clean. Lake Constance is huge. For the 4 million people who receive water from here every day, Lake Constance water supply pumps 125 billion liters of water a year out of the lake. That's more than 50,000 full swimming pools. Sounds like an awful lot, but in comparison to the total amount of water in the lake, it's almost nothing at all. 100 times more water than we can drink flows continuously into Lake Constance. Evaporation on the lake's surface alone is more than double the amount of drinking water taken. The sun's the heaviest drinker, so to speak. With water from our biggest and most beautiful lake, Lake Constance water supply provides us with pure water every day.
Ich weiß, wo das Wasser herkommt. Aus dem Bodensee. Ja, aber wie kommt es in unsere Küche?
First, the water is pumped from the lake, then treated and, via an extensive pipeline system, distributed to all households. How about me showing it to you now? This is where the water comes directly out of the lake, from a depth of 60 meters. Down below, the water's clean and cold. 24 hours a day, the water is pumped through 2 large steel pipes up to Zipplinger Berg and into Lake Constance water supply's treatment plants. The water from Lake Constance arrives here in this basin. As you can see, it's still a bit green. There are algae and microorganisms in it, and they're removed here in the treatment plant. Lake Constance water supply does this in 3 steps. First, the water is cleaned of all suspended matter. 12 microstrainers remove minute invisible particles from the water, algae for example. These special microstrainers are extremely fine, 15 thousandths of a millimeter, so finer than a hair. In the second step, the water is freed of germs. This is done using ozone, highly active oxygen which destroys all microorganisms. And subsequently, the water passes through 27 filtration basins. Here, anything still remaining in the water is removed. Now the water's absolutely pure, best drinking water. And that's how it comes out of the tap.
Ja, aber wie kommt's zu uns nach Hause?
Let me show you. Big pipelines like this one transport the water from Lake Constance to places all over Baden-Württemberg. One of them crosses the Swabian Jura underground for a distance of 24 kilometers through what's known as the Alp Tunnel. Like arteries, the pipelines spread across Baden-Württemberg, from the Lake Constance area in the very south to Bad Mergentheim in the north. The overall length of the pipeline grid is 1,700 kilometers. Laid one behind the other, the pipelines would extend from Lake Constance to the Black Sea. Big reservoirs like this one ensure there's always enough water available locally. This one's the biggest. It's in the Stuttgart district of Rohr. It holds 100,000 cubic meters of water, as much as 45 full swimming pools.
Und was passiert, wenn der Behälter leer ist?
That can't happen, because Lake Constance supplies water all the time. That's why it's the ideal drinking water reservoir for the region. Imagine it this way. Lake Constance is very big and very, very deep, with a strong current, and besides that, it's protected and it simply never runs dry. So Lake Constance is not just valuable for all of us, but in fact indispensable.
Ist schon toll. Immer ist genügend Wasser da, man kennt's gar nicht anders.
For more than 50 years now, Lake Constance water supply has ensured that everything runs smoothly, with no interruption. In large parts of Baden-Württemberg, for example the Swabian Jura or the central Neckar region, there was a shortage of water at the beginning of the 20th century. An increasing population, a growing economy, and 2 years of drought after the war aggravated the situation. The need for water forced the municipalities to cooperate in terms of water supply. Then in 1954, 13 cities, towns and municipalities founded Lake Constance Water Supply. Today, there are more than 180 members of Lake Constance Water Supply, cities, towns, municipalities and other water supply associations. More than 4 million people in 320 cities, towns and municipalities obtain their drinking water from Lake Constance. Lake Constance Water Supply is a non-profit company, so the water price just covers costs arising from the drawing of water, subsequent treatment and transport. A staff of 300 take care that we all get as much good drinking water day in, day out as we want. Here in this control center in Stuttgart, all data from the grid is collected. The staff monitor the passage of the water 24 hours a day. They ensure that as much is available as needed, so we have sufficient water for drinking, cooking, showering, and for watering our plants. Not forgetting that water for agriculture and manufacturing is also supplied from here. Water is our most valuable resource. Without water, we humans can't live. By the way, did you know that, on average, everyone in Germany consumes 125 liters of water every day? 1,000 liters of water can be had here for about €1.85. That's just 0.2 cents per liter. And for this price, it comes fresh and pure out of the tap every day, environmentally friendly, via pipelines from Lake Constance directly to bathrooms and kitchens. Of course, strictly checked too. So I'll simply say, to your health.